No, there's not. You're gonna see CM Punk or some Brad Pitt shit just to sell pay-per-views or some shit.
They'll do something, though.
I don't know what they're gonna do. You know, who knows if I'll be even there for it. But when you look at like the title picture, who like that card that they have in Brooklyn. I mean, that's a pay-per-view card, and it looks like an FS1 card right now. I'm sure they're gonna juice it up. They'll get more, but
it's gonna be a die-hard fan to pay $60 for that shit.
It's hard. It's hard to make those cards. So I think we kind of nailed it when we were talking about it earlier. Like, what guys sell pay-per-views? I think Woodley is a bigger star now that he beat Wonder Boy, but he still wants that big. And like Dana and I were having this conversation, it's like you can't have Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz hasn't won a fight since 2011. You can't have him step in and just go right up to the title and fight. That's what I said. I said, but I want to see it. He goes, I want to see it too, but you can't just do that.
No one's going to take the sport serious if you give a guy who hasn't won since 2011 or 12, give him a title shot. Fans are like, come on.
You say that, but I think they missed the boat if they wanted to make the fucking big money. It's Nick Diaz versus Conor McGregor.
No, he's too big, bro. He's too, come on.
They fight at 170.
Oh, come on. No, his brother was too big for him. His brother was too big for him.
You think he's too big?
Way too big.
I think that talk is nonsense because Conor's a 155-pound champ. Nate fought at 155 most of his career. He fought at 170 a couple of times, and he's undersized. Dong Young Kim beat him at 170.
He's a legit 170er, though.
Rory McDonald beat him at 170. Maybe, but he fights 155 easy. He looked great against Michael McDonald at 55. Tyron Woodley can't make 55. If his fucking life depends on it, Tyron Woodley's not making 55.
I know, and it's entertaining.
So the champ can't make 155 at 170. Nate can. So Nate is not a real 170.
Now here's to your point, and Dana's point. He hasn't won a fight since 2011, and you have Conor, your cash cow, fight this monster who hasn't won forever.
It's a great story.
It really is.
I love a great story. Big brother steps in. Come on.
I would watch it. I'd watch them, man. But to your point, they have to figure something out to get these stars.
It doesn't matter.
You can't do it overnight.
To me, it doesn't matter. You put Nick Diaz for what he's done out of respect. Who's going to complain? Really?
Well, apparently they offered Nick Diaz Robbie Lawler, and Nick passed on it. That's the word. That's the word behind the scenes.
Interesting.
Maybe I'm not supposed to say that. But I wanted to see that fight. I would love to see that rematch. But I think Nick wants a fucking title fight. You know, I think Nick is like, look, I want a big name or a title fight.
I love how they make these demands.
He's got money. Nick made some money. He's not ridiculous. He doesn't spend it all.
Well, how about Nate? I'm not answering the call unless it's $20 million.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Get him, son.
We talked about that recently in the podcast. I was like, well, let's break this down because, like, let's say they do 1 million pay-per-view buys, which is like top end, right? There's only a few people that have ever sold 1 million. It's like Brock, Ronda, Conor. 6, okay? 1 million is top of the food chain. So 1 million pay-per-view buys at $60. That's, you're taking 1/3 right off the bat. For Nate, it's really hard to justify giving someone $20 million.
UFC's not gonna do that.
It's gonna be real hard. And then obviously
Conor could demand it.
Conor's like one of the only guys that can get that kind of money.
He's the only guy.
When are guys, you think eventually guys will just start doing, like they get so big like Conor, he just does his own show and he gets his own people to
No, the
produce
UFC lawyers are too good to let you get out of your contract.
But here's
they
the
realize
thing.
that.
If Nate had a legit fight with someone other than Conor that was exciting, the problem is there's no one else in the division that's got that kind of marquee value.
At 55?
Like, yeah, there's no one in the division that has the kind of marquee value that if you had a... look, I think Nate is a fucking huge star. But unless, especially now, I mean, after he beat Conor, he's one of the biggest stars outside of that 10. Upper echelon pay-per-view like level.
I give him top 10.
But he's not a world title holder right now. So if you wanted to really have a big fight for Nate, you would have to have him. That would work.
Have him fight all day.
That would work. That would work. That would work.
Now, the winner of that fight's coming.
GSP ever coming back?
GSP, apparently they couldn't work out the deal with the Reebok deal. Like, he's got a deal with Under Armour. He's got a big deal with Under Armour. He makes a lot of money through Under Armour.
Monthly shit.
Yeah, and so he couldn't work out a deal with that was worth it to him. You know, there was an offer on the table. He didn't like it. They're still talking. He still says he wants a fight, but if the UFC, you know, now that they've lost Ronda, most likely they've lost Ronda. We don't know what happens. I mean,
she's not the same draw anymore.
She's definitely not the same
draw. Tough sell.
Definitely a tough sell. But, I mean, who fucking knows? A year and a half down the line, she's still only, what, she's 29?
I think
she's
Ronda
30.
can still get pay-per-views if she comes back in a year.
For sure, but it's not the same. It's not the same.
That baby sitting money flows like water.
For sure.
People will not want to watch it even more.
But she's not fighting anytime soon, so you